About 2.5 weeks ago, I was at the Canal restaurant where the Folk and A gets together, and I read a poem, which is now a song. Rick put it to music that very night. He'd never heard it, he'd never seen it. I got up and told the story and read it, and I'm going to read it again. And the next time you hear it, it'll be Rick and I doing the song, which is so good. He's just so talented. So 16 years ago, two of my daughters, one was a teenager and one was in her 20s, they kind of kidnapped me. They told me to pack an overnight bag, shoved me in the back of a car, and drove me to Fall River, where they forced me, against my will, to spend the night at the bed and breakfast where Lizzie Borden killed her father. They said they did it because they knew I liked old cemeteries. Which I do, but not that much. And it was the most amazing place. I slept in Lizzie's bed with my 14-year-old. Her name is Meredith. She's 30 now. And she snuck in a Ouija board, which I said, we're not having any part of this. So, but the next day for breakfast, the bed and breakfast people, they served a big piece of toast with 2 soft-boiled eggs. And they had cut the bacon to look like a little hatchet, and they had it in the runny eggs. And then they drizzled ketchup all around it. When I came home, I wrote this, and there's nothing funny in it. And I bought the legal transcript of the trial, and everything in here is factual. And now that it's a song, Rick and I are going down just for a day visit, and we're going to give them the song on CD. And see if they want to just put it in the gift shop. Not for us to make any money, but just to kind of get the song out there. So this is all real. Maggie is the maid. Andrew was the father. Abby was the stepmother.
And what's it called?
It's called Andrew and Abby. That morning in the mill town, it was 96 degrees. Smoke had settled on the windows, clouds were hanging from the trees, and the dust upon the dirt road staggered up to choke the view as Andrew rounded 2nd Street in 1892. And Abby made her way upstairs, her long dress swept the floor. She walked across the oak boards, she pushed upon the door. She opened wide the window, the heat came rolling in. She made the bed, not knowing she'd not make the bed again. There were bats up in the belfry that oppressive mongrel day, and those inclined to gossip didn't have a lot to say. No witness and no weapon means the guilty always wins, and somewhere in a closet there's a skeleton who grins. And so Andrew read the paper, though the news that day would pale, to the front page on the morrow when his blood would write the tale. Then he leaned back on the sofa with perhaps a sigh and yawn. Lizzie said his shoes were off, but the photo shows them on. And as Maggie washed the windows, daughter Lizzie stepped outdoors. She would later tell the jury she'd been busy with her chores. Mutton broth was turning rancid, so their lunch meal never came. And no one had an appetite, for no one took the blame. It was tragedy came calling as the sun came screaming down. There were sinkers in the rafters, there were sweet pears on the ground. And carnage laughed like crazy, but no one heard the sound. Without a face and name, it's still living in that town. So that morning in the mill town, it was 96 degrees. Some were praying for a rainstorm, some were wishing for a breeze. Yet Andrew and his Abby, had they seen their future die, may have asked for just a moment, so they could have said goodbye.